A serial murder suspect in New York will be charged in connection with another killing. Rex Heuermann has already pleaded not guilty to murdering 4 women out of the 11 whose remains were found at Long Island's Gilgo Beach more than a decade ago. CBS News national correspondent Errol Barnett is here in Studio 57 for more on this. So, Errol, what do we know about these new charges?
Well, we don't know yet what the charges will be specifically, but the Suffolk County District Attorney certainly said you'll see the fruits of our investigation and our labor on Thursday. And just to remind people, this was a long mystery on Long Island. More than, around 11 bodies found between 1996 and 2010, all of them mostly women, but mostly sex workers as well. And a suspect as to who this serial killer may be had been elusive for a long time until there was new leadership in Long Island. They launched this investigation, and it was a crust on a pizza box that led them eventually to identify Rex to at least 3 of those victims. And last summer, they did this massive search for physical evidence, DNA evidence at his Massapequa Park home. I was there as they were wrapping up their investigation, and they found many items, including a storage facility underground for weapons. And what they've tried to do since then is link him with physical evidence and with DNA evidence to as many of the victims as possible. In January of this year, they added a 4th victim to the people they believe he has killed. And so potentially, when we get this indictment on Thursday, we expect that another person may be added to that list.
So we're looking at some video from the raid at his Massapequa Park home that you were present for last summer.
Yeah.
They went to his home again last month. Why?
That's right. Well, neighbors tell CBS News, as well as a lawyer representing his estranged wife, that they focused on the basement this time. So it could have been something they discovered last time. Maybe there's more evidence they found in the meantime that may connect him to other victims. They also searched another park on Long Island where the victims Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor's remains were found. So come Thursday, we could find out that what they found at his home and what they found at that location may very well lead them to more victims that he may have killed, but also consider that while he has pleaded his innocence on this case, perhaps he's cooperating in some way with investigators to help them close all 11 cases. As we are right now, he's only been charged with 4 of the murders, but for the relatives of victims who are not connected to this case, they wonder if he very well may have been the man to kill their loved one.
Yeah, they want closure. So talk about the complexities of this and tying someone to some of these now cold cases and why it's essentially taking so long.
Well, it had, as I mentioned earlier, eluded investigators for years as to who the Gilgo Beach serial killer was. And it wasn't until they were able to link him to a vehicle that a friend of a victim said they saw at the time of one of the alleged murders. That vehicle was cross-referenced with one of his properties out of state. That led them to follow him, and then they waited. He threw out that pizza box you see there. They were able to pick up his DNA from it, and that's how they linked his DNA directly with at least 3 of the victims. So what they're doing now is carefully, in a way that isn't appealable and won't bounce back if they do bring these charges, is make sure it's a slam dunk case, so to speak.
It's a complex web. You had mentioned estranged wife. They're estranged now?
That's right. And she says she knew nothing of this. In fact, she was there, Lindsay, last summer when the FBI and investigators were raiding the house, and she was sitting on the porch. She says, I had no idea this was happening. He also has 2 adult children. They say they're just witnesses to this and watching from afar.
Okay, a twisted web. Errol Barnett, thank you.
Great to see you.